In this session, we're going to be going over Unit 1 and Lesson 1 of the App Development with Swift book. We'll learn about the origin of Swift and some of the basic syntax. So let's get started. A little history. Swift was introduced at Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference in 2014 as a modern language for writing apps for iOS and macOS. It replaces Objective-C as the primary language for iOS and Mac, and it's much easier to learn, read, write, and maintain than most of the programming languages out there today. Swift is a modern language, fast, safe, and expressive. And what makes Swift fast and expressive is clean syntax, and this makes the code easier to read and easier to work with. Swift also has something called automatic reference counting, or ARC, and what this does is it automatically manages our memory for us, so we don't have to worry about those technical details. We also have a data type called a tuple, and this allows for multiple return values that translates into smaller units of code that do more. There's also something in Swift called generics, and this is just a generic function that helps us reuse code over and over in multiple scenarios. There are some functional methods like for each, map, filter, and reduce, which allow us to quickly and easily iterate over collection types. Swift also has a unique data type called a struct, and it's kind of like a class, except it's a value type instead of a reference. And structs support methods, extensions, and protocols, which allow Swift to optimize for memory use and speed. Swift is considered a safe language because it has some key features like type safety. Type safety forces us to be explicit about the type of object that we create. And this prevents us from writing code that may crash if it isn't designed to work with the type of object that it actually is. Another feature that makes Swift safe is type inference, and this allows the compiler to infer the type of object that it is, which saves us time and ensures that the compiler can enforce proper rules regarding what operations and functions can be performed with each type. We also have something called optionals in Swift, and this is kind of unique to Swift, but it's basically just something that says this variable can have a value, but it might not. So this helps us handle those scenarios where the value might be there or it might not be. And we also have some powerful error handling. And this allows us to write fewer bugs and hopefully fewer crashes. All right, so Swift was released as open source in December 2015. And open source means that there's a community for support and input, and it's evolving and improving, and there's support for more platforms over time. And I do encourage you guys to learn more about this by going to swift.org. If you see there on the left-hand panel, there's a Getting Started link. If you click that, I believe under that there's something called a Swift tour. And it just gives you a really brief overview of each of the features that we're talking about, and also goes into variable, what's a function, and I think it'll be a good overview for you. All right, so Swift's file format is plain text with a Swift file extension, and it has one or more statements. So Swift also comes with a REPL, and REPL stands for read, eval, and print loop. This is a tool that's used to evaluate simple commands in the command line or the terminal. And I'm going to show you what this is by going through how to create our very first Hello World app. Hey everyone! In this video, I'll show you how to create your first Hello World app using Swift in the command line. So for this, we want to open the Mac Terminal app. And to do this, I'll first open up Spotlight, then search for Terminal. And this is the default terminal application for Mac. I like to use a third-party terminal app called iTerm, so I'm going to search for that and click that to open it. And this one's really popular in the developer community. You can customize it, add different colors and things. So if you want to download it, just Google iTerm download. But for now, we're just going to type Swift, enter to enter the Swift REPL. And then to print Hello World, we are going to type print parentheses and then pass in the string hello world, end parentheses. Then press enter. There you go. Congratulations. You've just created your first Hello World application in Swift. So to exit, we type :quit, enter, and then Command Q to quit terminal. All right. Playgrounds are a special Xcode document type that runs Swift code in a special format with results that you can easily see. And this is what we're going to use for the next few sessions, so you'll get really comfortable with Playgrounds. Now let's create our Hello World app using a playground. Hey again. Now we're just going to create a Hello World app using an Xcode playground. And to do this, all we have to do is open Xcode. And then I'm going to click Get Started with the Playground. And for now, I'm just going to use this blank template. So click Next. Give it the name Hello World. And then click Create. And I'm going to do things a little bit differently than in our terminal app, since Xcode gives us this str variable out of the box. And instead of Hello Playground, I'm just going to type world here. And now we have our string variable that we can pass into the print function. So print str. And then I'll click this little play button all the way at the bottom, and we see our Hello World output. All right, so that's your second Hello World app. And while we're here, I will show you a little bit around playgrounds. So every time you create a variable or you call a variable, pass it into a function, you can see the output of that variable on the right-hand side. And if you wanted to take a closer look, you can click this little eye icon. But we can see that gets cut off. I don't know if it's a resolution or something, but if you click the square, then it'll show you the output in line, which is pretty cool. And you also have your trusty console output down here. All right. If you get to a point where your playground is really long, and you might want to take advantage of another feature that allows us to play only up to a certain line. So let's say we have a function that does some crazy calculations here. Crazy calculations. And then we want to print some crazy stuff. All right, and then we'll just call our crazy calculations method. Now, if we press the play button at the bottom, or if we press this play button on the side here all the way down to our crazy calculations, it'll print both Hello World and crazy stuff. But say you didn't want to do that. You wanted to only print the Hello World. So if you hover your mouse on the side and click this play button at the line that you want, it'll print only up to that point. That's about it for now. So I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, what you can do now is open and complete the exercises in the lab for lesson 1 by opening the introduction.playground. Good luck!